Good morning. Welcome, students, alumni, and faculty of Hofstra University Masters of Public Health program. Today we'll be discussing the Certified in Public Health Credential, or the CPH Credential, and how it's populating the public health workforce, and why it's imperative for you to build your resume and invest in your career in public health by sitting for and successfully obtaining the CPH Credential before you enter the workforce. With the CPH credential in hand, you're making yourself more marketable and competitive against other applicants in the job market. This presentation will be about 45 minutes long with 15 minutes for questions. I will send each of you the presentation, a recorded version as well as the slides after the presentation is over. I'll also send you the CPH candidate handbook, the CPH one-pager, it's a flyer, and the CPH content outline during this presentation. I've dropped these handouts into the handout section of the WebEx platform here on the right-hand side of your screen, so you should be able to grab those documents and save them. However, I will be attaching them to the email that you will all be receiving after this presentation is over. There is a question box in the right-hand corner of the screen where you can key in your questions, and I will answer them as we go along. My name is Kate Brundage, and I'm the Certification Program Manager for the National Board of Public Health Examiners, or NBPHE. We're located in Washington, D.C., and we are available by email or phone at any time during business hours. You can reach me at kbrundage@nbphe.org, or you can access me or Allison by info@nbphe.org. Either address will work. Today we'll be discussing the NBPHE, the history, Board of Directors, statistics and growth. We'll go over why the CPH, benefits and testimonials. We're going to touch upon the pilot program that we opened in 2015 and how that is going to relate to individuals who are trying to enter the workforce now, and what getting that credential means. We'll also show you a snapshot of employers who are actively seeking CPH professionals for their job postings. We'll go over the CPH process from cradle to grave, the overview, eligibility, what it means to be provisionally certified versus actively certified. We'll also go into the exam content, what it means to take a paper-based exam versus a computer-based exam. We'll go over registering for the exam, how the exam is scored. We'll touch upon some study resources. We'll go over the exam fees, and we'll go over CPH recertification, or what happens after you are a certified in public health professional. So let's dive right into this. The NBPHE and the CPH exam. The CPH exam is not just an exam. The CPH is not just an exam, it's a credential, which means it has a governing board of directors and has eligibility requirements, an entrance exam, a recertification process every 2 years, and a code of ethics, which all CPH professionals must adhere to. The CPH exam acts as a standard benchmark to measure an individual's grasp of contemporary public health topics, which is needed as schools and programs have various graduation requirements these days. The recertification process elevates public health professionals to be on par with other health professionals with their maintenance of their licenses, certifications, and other credentials. The CPH Code of Ethics, which all CPH professionals must adhere to and uphold, assures that the essential services are being delivered based on evidence and equity. So how did the CPH come about? In 1980, the U.S. Surgeon General went out with a call to the field to establish a task force for the creation of a credentialing public health workforce. In 1999, Dr. Mohammed Akhtar, then the Executive Director of APHA, and Dr. Al Summer, Dean of Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, the chair of the ASPPH board, decided to jointly form the APHA-ASPPH task force on public health workforce credentialing. And then in 2015, the NBPHE, 2005, the NBPHE was established with a board of 20 members. The inaugural certification in public health exam was administered both in the U.S. and international locations in August of 2008. The MBPHE awarded its inaugural certification credential to over 500 qualifying professionals. The MBPHE Board of Directors is comprised of 6 executive committee members, 13 members at large, 2 honorary members, and 2 staff members. The following logos are some of the organizations that employ MBPHE board members. These organizations support the efforts of the MBPHE in credentialing of public health professionals. And they do this by spreading the word of the credential and by providing meaningful continuing education opportunities for the community of CPH professionals. Some of the organizations you'll see listed here are the American Public Health Association, the Association of Prevention, Teaching, and Research, Association of Schools and Programs of Public Health, Association of State and Territorial Health Officials, and NACHO, the National Association of County and City Health Officials. You'll also see that CEPH is listed. CEPH is the Council on Education for Public Health, and this is the organization that accredits schools and programs of public health. So Hofstra University MPH program just achieved their CEPH accreditation, which is why the students and alumni are now eligible to sit for the CPH examination, and we'll talk a little bit about that in eligibility. Another accrediting body that is listed there is FAB, the Public Health Accreditation Board. FAB helps accredit health departments, and FAB is very supportive in the CPH and has been putting CPH language within their newsletter to try to get more health departments to get their employees certified as a certified and public health professional. You also see there that the American Public Health Association is listed, and we do a lot of work with APHA. We offer a discount to their members for our examination, and we also hold a 2-day learning course at their annual meeting every year. And this 2-day learning course really goes over all the core areas and cross-cutting areas of public health to help you prepare for the examination. It's 16 hours long, and you sit in a classroom for 2 days to learn the information to prepare for the examination. And then the exam is held the day after at their annual meeting. I'll go into this a little bit later when we're talking about study resources. Statistics. Since 2008, the MBPHE has credentialed over 5,500 CPH professionals. We have about 500 who are provisionally certified at any given time. And I mentioned in the beginning, we're going to talk about the difference between a provisional CPH versus an actual CPH. And we will go into that a little bit later. There's about 2,000 applicants in the pipeline at any time trying to get the CPH and sit for the examination. We also have 10 schools and programs that require the exam in order to graduate. We have 11 schools and programs that encourage the CPH exam, where 20 to 30% of their student body sit for the examination, and therefore they are extended a discount. And now we have 5 organizations strongly encouraging the CPH examination to their personnel or members, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the presentation. Here is a graph of the growth of CPH. We have about 5,500 CPH professionals, and about 1,200 are certified per year. Oops, let me just go back. So why the CPH? The Certified in Public Health is the only credential of its kind for public health that demonstrates not only your key knowledge of key public health sciences, but also your commitment to the field through continuing education focused on emerged and established public health issues. The #1 vision of the MBPHE is to professionalize the field of public health and to raise the visibility of the field itself. We strive to do this by administering the only public health examination that encompasses the core areas and all of the cross-cutting areas of public health. We want to create an elite community of certified graduates, working professionals, faculties, leaders, and pioneers in the field of public health. The CPH credential, like most certifications, demonstrates dedication and commitment to the field beyond your education and into the workforce. The vision includes having a core standard body of knowledge for public health professionals to follow. And lastly, to promote continuing education and lifelong learning. The CPH and public health profession. There are many reasons to get certified. Public health professionals need to stay at the forefront of their field. This is accomplished by thoroughly understanding the interaction between different specialized areas of public health, learning new strategies to cope with disasters, and constantly working to stay ahead of any threat. The CPH Credential helps public health professionals to achieve these ever-achieving goals. The CPH Credential distinguishes you as a public health professional at the cutting edge of an ever-evolving field. And some of the benefits include showing public health expertise by evidencing mastery of core sciences of public health, demonstrating your commitment to public health beyond your academic training, advance cohesiveness and collaboration with professionals, with your professional peers by starting from a common foundation or an elite community. This is an investment in your career and your future. It distinguishes you from others and with the only credential in public health that encompasses all 5 core areas and the cross-cutting areas. It distinguishes you from other job applicants. It tells employers and the public that you're of your constant level of preparedness. It certifies your commitment to public health. It raises the bar in public health by increasing professionalism. It creates more aware of the importance of a quality public health workforce. You stay current on best practices and education through our recertification system. And the CPH lastly assures that the community which you have served and protect that you met and maintain a national professional standard. So while there are many reasons to sit for the CPH exam, we'll stick to the following 4, and I will read some testimonials that will speak to the benefits of sitting for and successfully obtaining the CPH credential. Evidence of mastery in core skills and knowledge. This right here is Tanya Smith, a lieutenant with the United States Public Health Service, and she was a member of our pilot cohort. I'll go into what our pilot cohort is in just a few slides, but she says that though I don't hold an MPH, I bring many years of invaluable real-world public health experience to the table. I reviewed the ASPPH CPH study guide as well as other study resources. 3 months later, I successfully passed the first examination to be offered to candidates based solely on prior work experience. It has been one of my proudest professional accomplishments. Salary increases and promotions. We have Laura Ricardo here writing a testimonial from the Army Nurse Corps, the United States Army, and she says that once I received my passing notice of the CPH exam, I received an $80,000 incentive bonus offered at that time in 4 increments, and I have proudly continued to serve my commission. So there is an opportunity for employers to pay for the certification as well as give salary increases and promotions to those individuals that go above and beyond by earning this credential. It proves that you have met and can maintain a national standard in public health. This is Patrick Harper, Lieutenant Commander of the United States Public Health Service, and he says that my CPH affirms that I possess the means to positively change lives, and it motivates me to doing just that. I accept this challenge proudly in honor of my fellow CPH certified colleagues, my branch of service, and most importantly, the nation whose health I have sworn to protect, promote, and advance. We are going to skip a few of these. These are some testimonials you can read when I send the slides around. But I wanted to talk about our pilot program. In 2015, we opened up our eligibility to include individuals that have a bachelor's degree in any concentration plus 5 years of public health work experience. We found that our offices were flooded with applications, and we found about 800 applications came into the office. About 700 of them were eligible. And these individuals who didn't have the opportunity to sit for the exam before because they did not come from an MPH program or a CEF accredited school or program of public health, they're now able to sit for the examination based on their work experience. So we're really seeing many people in the public health workforce obtaining this credential and pushing the certification forward into their public health departments, and into the organizations that which they work for. We're starting to see that many employers are starting to put a preference for the CPH or a requirement for the CPH in order to work in public health, and in order to work for these certain organizations, they are putting preferences or a requirement for the CPH in their job postings. So you'll see that the CPH is already populating the workforce, and so by obtaining this credential before you graduate, you'll be ahead of the game. Here is a quick snapshot of employers that are actively seeking CPH professionals for their job postings. We have a job board through ASPPH, the Association of Schools and Programs of Public Health, where many different health departments and public health organizations input their job postings on our online, and we can see that they are putting a preference or a requirement for the CPH. And we don't see that ending anytime soon. That trajectory should continue to grow. So the CPH process. The CPH process begins with eligibility. You need to determine you are eligible under the 4 pathways that we provide as eligibility criteria. Next, you'll be able to prepare for, schedule, and sit for the CPH exam. Lastly, we'll discuss recertification and continuing education. So I'm just going to talk about the 2 eligibility requirements that pertain to everyone on the call. Because you are an alumni of Hofstra University, or because you are a student, you will be eligible to sit for the exam. So we'll start here. All graduates of CPA accredited schools and programs of public health are eligible to sit for the CPH exam. So if you are a graduate, an alumni of Hofstra University MPH program, you are able to sit for the CPH exam. Students, there's a little bit of a different route. You will apply the same way. However, you will need to be enrolled in the following coursework. Students that are not enrolled in all of these coursework will not be able to sit for the exam. Once you're enrolled in all of the coursework, you will be able to sit for the examination, and then you will be provisionally certified after you successfully pass the exam, and I'll talk about that just in a moment. So students that are registered or enrolled in biostatistics, epidemiology, environmental health, health policy and management, and behavioral and social sciences will be eligible to sit for the CPH examination. Now, when an alumni sits for the CPH exam and they test and they pass, they are automatically a fully active CPH, and they will receive the CPH behind their name. They will be able to collect recertification credits. They will get a username and password to our system to input recertification credits and self-report. We will send you a CPH certificate with a lapel pin, and your information will be placed on our Find a CPH registry, which means any employer who wants to verify that you are indeed a CPH will be able to look up your last name and see on our registry that you are certified. Students, however, when you pass the examination, you will be provisionally certified. This means that you cannot use the CPH after your name, nor will you have access to the CPH recertification portal until you graduate. So once you graduate, you'll be able to do everything the alumni, the active CPH, would be able to do. You would get your CPH certificate and your lapel pin. You'd be able to use the CPH behind your name. Going forward, though, while you wait for graduation, you can put provisional CPH on your resume. But you will not be a full CPH until you have graduated. And that is all done behind the scenes. So once you sit for the exam and you pass and you're a student, you simply just need to wait for till graduation, and your school will log in and verify your graduation all on the vaccine, and we will get you certified. The CPH exam. I'm going to pause here to see if anybody has any questions on eligibility. Okay, so the CPH examination the exam covers 25 items of general principles. This area is really questions that you should know as a public health professional. However, they're more of common sense questions, such as who is Jon Snow, that sort of thing. So 25 questions are in general principles, and there's more information about general principles on the website. The core area of the exam are biostatistics. There are 30 items in bio, 30 items in epidemiology, 30 items in environmental health sciences, 30 items in health policy management, and 30 items in social and behavioral sciences. The cross-cutting areas of the exam only take up 25 questions. So the cross-cutting portion of the examination holds 25 questions in communication and informatics, diversity and culture, leadership, professionalism, program planning, public health biology, and systems thinking. So the CPH exam is a timed exam. You have 200 items, all multiple choice, and you have 4 hours to sit for the exam. You are not allowed to use calculators or scratch paper. However, I've been told that on the examination you do not need to do any math. You just need to recognize formulas. All questions are multiple choice and single best answer. There are 2 ways to sit for the examination. We have computer-based exams and paper-based exams. The computer-based exams are held the entire month of February, the entire month of June, and the entire month of October. I believe that you can sit Monday through Sunday now, and we have about 200 plus testing facilities. So what you would do is you would go to our website and key in your zip code and to find a location for the CPH exam. You would key in your zip code and you would find about 5 to 10 different computer-based testing facilities that are located near your home. And then you would journey to that testing facility on the day of the examination. There would be a proctor, and you would sit for the exam 4 hours, and then you would have your scores printed out for you when you leave the examination. The paper-based exam is a bit different. We hold that sporadically throughout the year, and this is for those schools and programs that really require the CPH or have 20 to 30% of their student body sitting for the CPH. Usually we see those bigger groups come to us and they will hold a paper and pencil examination on their campus for their students or alumni or faculty. Just a note that the minimum is 8 candidates. And this is upon request. We need about a 90-day lead time. So any administrators on the call thinking about maybe having a paper and pencil examination for Hofstra University, you would need to give us an email about 90 days in advance, and we'll go ahead and set that up. Now, there is a difference between computer-based exams and paper-based. So the computer-based exam, you're going to go to a testing facility near your home. You have 72 hours beforehand to register for a computer-based examination. You also have 72 hours to reschedule before that examination. And this is really important because we start to get into some examination rescheduling fees come into play, and I will speak to that. But just so you know, for computer-based, you're going to walk out with your scores in your hand. For paper-based, because we have to collect all the scores and key them into our system and do a whole process, you're not going to get your scores the day that you test. For paper-based, you're going to receive your scores by mail about 3 to 4 weeks after you sit for the examination. And there is a 30-day registration deadline. So if your school is having a paper and pencil examination in March, you need to register by February in order to sit for that examination. So there's a couple different differences within the computer-based and paper-based. Registering for the exam, our testing vendor is named PSI AMP. They were AMP, and now PSI has taken over AMP. So you may see PSI, you may see AMP, or you may see a combination of both. They are both our testing vendor. And the way that a student and alumni would apply is they would go to our website and go to Register Now. That would take you to this registration center where you see on my screen here, and there are the different work eligibility pathways to apply. Students and alumni are going to click on that left box, which will take them to AMP's website. When you get to AMP's website, that's when you would create your account online, and you would select Hofstra University in the drop-down. That way, once you register under Hofstra, an email will be kicked to their administrator, who will then be able to log in and verify that you are A, a student and you are enrolled in the core courses, or B, you are an alumni and you have already graduated and are eligible to sit for the examination. Then once they verify that piece of information, you will get an email to schedule your exam and pay online. And I mentioned there is some additional fees. So the examination, to reschedule, your first reschedule is going to be free. The second time you need to reschedule, there's going to be a $125 fee attached to that. So you just want to keep that in mind when scheduling your exam, that the first exam is free, the first reschedule is free, and the second reschedule and third and fourth and so on will cost an additional $125. All scheduling, rescheduling, and deferrals will go through AMP. So once you register and create an account online, you can reschedule and defer your exam there. You can also call AMP. Their phone number is right here. It's 1-888-519-9901. And this presentation will be sent to you, the slides as well as the presentation recording. So you will have this phone number in case you need to make any changes to your exam date. And just remember that second exam is going to, that second reschedule, there is a fee associated. There's also a fee associated if you are sitting for the examination outside the United States, Canada, or Puerto Rico. I believe it's a $100 additional testing fee if you're testing overseas. So how is the exam scored? Each item is examined for its performance and difficulty, meaning if everybody gets question 5 correct, we know that that's not a good question. It may be for all the students that get it correct, but it doesn't mean it's a good question as in it's not performing well because everyone, it's too easy. We also have a committee that meets to discuss these analyses to see if questions are too hard or too easy. So we do a content-based analysis that determines the minimum passing standard required to achieve certification. Now each exam is equated to each other, so they are all the same. However, the cut score is different for each examination. So I wish I could tell you the score that you need to pass, but since each examination is different, that score changes based on this content-based analysis. It's handled on a pass-fail basis, and the pass rate is more than 75% of folks that sit for the examination pass. I'm going to go into test development a little bit here. And if you have any questions about this, if you really want to know more about how the exam is created and how the cut score is set and how the item bank is created and all of that, you can email us at info@mbphe.org. But I'll just go into this really quickly. The CPH exams are created using multiple choice test items drawn from a CPH item bank. The MBPHE selects faculty and practitioners each year to write new questions for the item bank. Item writers are trained on writing items for standardized exams and are given specific assignments based on deficits in the item bank and their particular area of expertise. So new item writers are assigned to an experienced item writer for mentorship who assists with the edits before the items are submitted. Most experienced item writers submit their items directly to the new item pool for review. But new items are categorized by level of difficulty, area, specific area of knowledge, and content outline of the item that the item addresses. Items are then submitted for review by a committee of item writers who refine and edit items before they are submitted to the bank for a second round of review. At least one new form or exam is developed each year. A form review committee reviews each exam as a whole and makes further edits to the individualized items in addition to the composition of the form itself. Following the administration of an exam, the form review committee examines the performance of each item and makes adjustments for items that do not discriminate between strong and weak examinees or simply do not perform well. A third committee then sets the passing score based on a modified Angoff method. The modified Angoff method aims to pass candidates who are minimally competent. So that's kind of the test development flow. Score reporting. As I said, once you take a computer-based exam, you're going to get your scores immediately. Candidates that do not pass the exam are going to get a scaled scoring. So if you pass, you're just going to get the percentage that you passed by. But if you do not pass the exam, you're going to get a scaled scoring that says, hey, you need to do a little bit better in biostatistics. Hey, you need to study up a little bit more in social and behavioral sciences. So it'll let you know what areas you need to brush up on in order to retake the exam. All scores are sent to the school and program. The schools and programs are under confidentiality. They will not share your scores with anyone. These scores are simply used in the school and program so that they can beef up their curricula. If they are noticing that all of their students are not performing well in health policy and management, they know that they need to beef up that curricula a little bit more. So that's how the scores are used within the system, within the schools and programs, but they are not distributed to anyone else, and your scores will never be shared or placed online or anything like that. You do have a score report in your recertification portal. So once you pass, you're going to have a username and password to a recertification portal to track your recertification credits, and within that portal, your score report will live. So you can always go back and look at how you did on the exam. And those that do not pass the exam will not have a username and password to the portal. So you have to be successful in passing the examination before you get that piece. So before I go into studying resources, I just want to look and see if there are any questions. Okay, there are no questions yet, so we will continue. CPH study resources. We have a number of free resources available to you on our website. We have the CPH content outline, which is one of the handouts I dropped into the WebEx platform on your right-hand corner of the screen. I'm also going to be sending that along with the email I send to everybody. The content outline, that's an outline of everything that's on the examination. The sample exam questions we have, you can take some of those to kind of get a feel for the format. We have 3 different practice exams. Again, these are all free to you online. And the practice exams, we have about 2 50-question practice exams and 1 100-question practice exam. We also have CPH webinars, and this is interesting for me to note because every January we hold a 3-hour webinar per core area. So we have a 3-hour webinar on biostatistics, a 3-hour webinar on health policy management, et cetera, 3 hours on cross-cutting. So these webinars are led by an ASPPH faculty expert who, and these are held in the month of January. So if you go to our website right now and go to study resources, you can register for these webinars. They're online right now, and I believe the first 2 have already been conducted, social and behavioral sciences as well as cross-cutting areas. But those are online and recorded, so you can find them on the website. So the CPH content outline, this is kind of what it looks like. I believe it's only 14 pages long. However, it's very, very important. If it's on the CPH content outline, it's on the CPH exam. So you want to use this as your map. And the other resource that we have that is not free of charge is the ASPPH CPH study guide. What you want to do is you want to print out this content outline. You want to purchase the ASPPH CPH study guide, and you want to go through this guide, this content outline while you study the study guide, and take your notes on it, and just make sure that if it's on that content outline that you know what it means, that you understand, and you could pass the exam based on that knowledge. I said we have examination orientation practice items. There are 13 sample questions on our website in the format of the CPH exam. They are best single answer, and you can find those on our study resources page as well. I mentioned we have practice exams, and you can go to, again, CPH Study Resources, and you can take any of those practice exams. We have 2 50-question practice exams and 1 100-question practice exam, and these scores are just emailed to you, and it's just for practice, so nobody will see your scores. And here is our ASPPH CPH study guide. This is really the Bible. So this has an overview of each area. It has suggested readings, definitions and terminology, sample questions, 100 practice question tests, again, those 2 50-question practice tests. So you're going to want to go ahead and purchase this. It's $39.99. You can just go to the website and purchase it online, and you want to use that CPH content outline handout along with this interactive study guide online to prepare. As I mentioned, we have CPH webinars. They're actually occurring right now. However, we have them archived, I believe, all the way till 2014. So if you want to listen to as many of those as you would like, you can. They're free to you on the website. However, if you want to participate in the live presentations that are happening this month, you want to go ahead and go to our website and register for them. There are 3 remaining, I believe. These are recorded every January, and they're free to listen. Also, just a side note is that after you're certified, if you find that you're having trouble with recertification, you're having trouble finding activities in your area to gain CPH credit for, you can always listen to these CPH presentations in order to gain credit. So they're each 3 hours long, so if you think about it, there are 6 of them. That gives you 18 CPH credits, recertification credits. So that's a really good resource if you find you're running out of credits and running out of time to recertify. So I urge all of you to go to our website, go to CPH Study Resources, and register for these January exams. They will help you tremendously in preparing for the examination. All right, and then I mentioned we hold a 2-day learning course at the APHA annual meeting. APHA is the Association of American Public Health Association, and they are a membership association geared for the public health professional. So if you're a member of APHA, we offer a discount for the examination. We also offer the study material for free. So you may want to look into joining APHA or attending their annual meeting in Atlanta, Georgia in November of this upcoming year. The fee for the 2-day learning course, where you sit in a classroom for 8 hours for 2 days, is $350. And then on that 3rd day, you would sit for the paper-based exam, and that's the separate fee for the CPH examination, which I will go into a little bit later. Oh, right now. So the prices and discounts for the CPH exam, you'll see here that the standard fee for the CPH exam is $385. For those schools and programs that have about 20 to 30% of their student body sit for the examination, they are offered a discount for of $315. And for those schools and programs that are requiring the CPH examination for graduation, they are offered a discount of $250 for the examination. Now, as Hofstra finds that more students and alumni are interested in this, they may decide that they want to become one of these institutions that offers a discount for the CPH examination. And at that time, you would be able to have the study materials for free, as well as have that $315 or $250 price. But since Hofstra University just got accredited, I think we're at the beginning stages, so stay tuned. You can retake the exam anytime, multiple times a year. You know, there's no limit on how often you can retest. And again, those testing dates are February, June, and October for computer-based. I mentioned the schools and programs and organizations that are strongly requiring or strongly encouraging the CPH examination. I just wanted to list those here for you so you can see. These are some of our schools and programs in public health that are now requiring that you obtain this credential in order to graduate. So these students are going to be leaving their schools with the credential in hand and entering the workforce with it. So we're going to see that the workforce is going to continue to be populated with this CPH credential, and so you don't want to fall behind. You definitely want to have it as well, especially when you're looking for work. And here are some of the schools and programs that offer a significant discount for a volume discount for having 20 to 30% of their student body sit for the CPH examination. And lastly, the organizations that are offering a discount, I mentioned APHA. They offer a discount for the examination. If you are an ASPPH fellow, there's a discount there. Army Public Health Center, Commissioned Officers Association, Navy Nursing Corps. A new one is Army Nurse Corps. They have just signed on. And the United States Public Health Service. So, before we go to recertification and what it means to be certified and how to upkeep the credential, I'm just going to check and make sure there are no other questions. And so we did have a question about eligibility. If you are a student that has already completed the core courses, yes, you are eligible to sit for the examination. If you haven't completed them but you're enrolled in them, you're eligible to sit for the examination as well. So, CPH recertification is a biannual process. You need to obtain 50 CPH credits every 2 years. So that comes to about 25 credits per year that you need to obtain, and this has to be outside of your work. This needs to be continuing education. So we have an online reporting portal that you would log into and self-report your credits. It's based on the honor system, and you would pay $95 every 2 years to recertify and maintain that credential. Some activities that you can gain credit for, college courses. You can obtain 15 CPH credits per course that you're enrolled in. We also give credit for conferences and professional events and meetings. So if you attend a public health meeting, the typical rule of thumb is 1 CPH credit per 1 hour of attendance up to 8 hours per day. So you can't obtain more than 8 credits per day, but if you attend a 2-hour public health meeting, you can count 2 CPH credits for attendance. You can also obtain credit for conferences. So if you did attend APHA, APHA would be about 8 credits per day, and that's about a 3 to 4 day conference. So you can imagine that if you go to one conference and maybe listen to a few webinars, you'll be able to recertify with that 50 credit requirement. Volunteer and leadership services, if you're doing anything related to public health, you chair a committee, or you're a volunteer in some way that relates to our field, you can count up to 20 CPH credits capped. We also have opportunities for folks to write items for the exam, like I mentioned before, or FAB or CEPH accreditation site visitors. You can gain credit for that too. Medical residencies count for 25 CPH credits per year. Dissertations count the same. So if you are working on your dissertation, you can get 25 CPH credits per year. So these are just some things you can do. You can listen to webinars, podcasts, you can do online workshops, you can listen to archive webinars. There's a lot you can do in order to gain recertification. This is what our CPH portal looks like right now. This is the CPH recertification and reporting system. So you'll see your name is there, and under your name you'll have your digital badges. We'll go into that in just a second. We offer digital badging for those folks who go above and beyond with recertification. You'll see that the My Certification tab at the top, that will have your score reports. My Profile will have all of your contact information that you can update. There's a user manual on how to work the program, how to input credits. And then if you turn your attention to the bottom where the bar is down at the bottom, you'll see find credits and providers. We have a portal that you can look and find pre-approved providers who are offering pre-approved activities for recertification. So when you go to that list, you'll see all the different types of activities that you can do in order to become recertified that are pre-approved. Now, we do allow you to report on activities that are not pre-approved. However, you just need to make a case for how it relates to public health. Then you're going to go to the next bar, which is report activity, and you're going to key in. You're going to first look to see if they are a pre-approved provider, and if they're not, you're going to key in your activities. You can request an extension in here, and you can also view your past recertification history. So like I said, if you go to our website and you go to the CPH recertification and reporting system, there's a bar right there where that little red arrow is that says find credits and providers, and that will show you all of the pre-approved providers and pre-approved activities that you can participate in order to gain CPH recertification credit. You'll see here that this is just an example of how to search. You can search by domain areas, but mostly what I do is just put in person. You'll see at the top where it says number 1 location. I just click in person and hit submit and see all the offerings that are in person. You can also select distance learning and hit submit, and there's just a ton of free online learning for recertification. I mentioned digital badging. So we have these digital badges. They're visual representations of a skill or achievement. The goal is to increase CPH engagement, and you will see here are some of the badges. We have Superstar Attendee, Star Presenter, Grants Master. There's a lot you can do here in order to get more badges, and the more credits that you report, the more colorful the badges get. I mentioned our Find a CPH Registry. You'll see here that if you go to our website to find a CPH, you can type in the CPH's last name, and this information will come up with their name, their MBPHE number, their status, and their badges. You can also print your certificate cover letter, or employers can. So just a few more things before we end and go to our Q&A. We have 2 websites. We have our LinkedIn and our Facebook. Our Facebook is for everybody. You don't have to be a CPH in order to join our Facebook, and this Facebook will give you updates on when we are hosting webinars, when there's activities for recertification coming about, any changes to the CPH exam, or any kind of updates to MBPHE. They will all be put on Facebook. Also in LinkedIn, that is a closed group which is only for CPH professionals, and within that group you will find out more about recertification opportunities, or if we have to have a focus group for some reason and we are calling on volunteers or nominations for board members, that sort of thing. Those will all be listed within the LinkedIn page that you can become a part of once you're certified. And then again, once you're certified, you can purchase merchandise. We have t-shirts, hoodies, grocery bags, mugs, pens, everything you can imagine. And you can purchase these aside from your CPH certificate and lapel pin that you will get in the mail. So this is an example of the CPH certificate currently. We are switching to virtual certificates at some point this year. So you will have a link that's embedded into your LinkedIn or your email signature that anyone can click on and view your certificate. So that is basically the program. I was curious to see if there are any questions. Let's see if there are any questions here. So recertification is every 2 years. In order to get the APHA discount, when you apply through the website as a student of Hofstra University, there's going to be one page that you go to when you're filling out your demographic information in your online application that says, are you a member of APHA, or are you a member of the Navy Nursing Corps, or any of those organizations I listed earlier. And what you would do is you would click on that button and input your APHA member ID number, and that would give you the discount in order, the discount for the examination if you're a member of APHA. If you go to a conference as part of your work, you are not supposed to count CPH credit for work-related activities. However, since it is outside of work, you may be able to count the educational sessions as credits. That would be something that we would look into probably case by case. So as I mentioned, somebody is asking about what is considered a passing score for the CPH exam, or is it pass-fail? So there is a cut score that you would need to go above in order to pass the exam. However, as I mentioned, each exam is different. Therefore, while the forms are equated to each other for fairness, they are different examinations, therefore there's a different cut score. So we cannot release the passing score because it's different for each examination, but you can assume if you get over 70%, I believe, then you will have passed. And the webinars are all recorded and placed online. Those webinars that are occurring this January, they're all going to be recorded and put on the website, so you can either listen to them there or you can register and listen to them live. So that is an option for you. I don't see any other questions coming in. So I will go ahead and get this presentation turned into a YouTube link for everybody who was unable to participate. And I will go ahead and once that's ready, I'll send everybody that registered an email with this presentation, the YouTube link, the CPH content outline, the CPH candidate handbook, and the CPH one-page flyer. And that should be everything that you need in order to get started, in order to register for the examination and get going. So, and if you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact info@mbphe.org. I'm happy to answer any questions. And thank you very much for your time today. Good luck on the examination. Have a great day.